Hi guys, Rana Unity and Joey Q, and we're about to just shoot a video of a 3-card reading. We're using the Angel Tarot by Doreen Virtue, one of my favorite decks. And the intention of this reading is that we trust that whomever is meant to hear this message and to receive this message, as it's for their highest and best good, will naturally be attracted to this video. Alright, so
the first card that comes up is the Nine of Air. And as you can see, air represents the mental frame, usually anxious energies, kind of very, very sharp. It's a very sharp.
In your mind a lot, just always having thoughts. So it says, expecting the worst, self-fulfilling prophecies, and sleepless nights. So what I get from this is kind of like what you just said, is that right now, currently, like the main issue is that you're way too much in your head. You're really focused on all the fears, the doubts, the insecurity, and your mind is almost becoming like your enemy. You know, you're predicting the future, you know, with all these like negative outcomes, and it might even be causing you a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress. You know, we interpret this part a little bit differently, but to me, I see that all these unicorns are kind of like laying down, just surrendered, and have just almost given up. They're like stuck. They're unable to move forward. They don't know what to do. It's almost like all these thoughts are holding them a prisoner, like they have like a chain and box around them. You know, this is also like constantly expecting the worst, even, and this is kind of like, to me, like fortune telling, expecting the worst when it didn't even happen yet. How do you interpret this card?
I see this a little bit differently. I also agree that these ones are surrendered, but it looks like the only one that's having a tough time with things is this guy. He looks like he's up, sleepless, anxious. I see this as a good surrender, though. I see, you know, just surrendering to what is, you know, letting it flow through them. You know, it says expecting the worst and self-fulfilling prophecies. And I think that a lot of people can relate to this because sometimes we kind of create these timelines for ourselves. You know, we create these things that says, oh my gosh, I'm never going to get there, or oh my God. And we're almost setting ourselves up for failure. You know, and then what that happens is when you keep reinforcing that timeline, you know, you get anxiety, you get sleepless nights, you get, you know, you're always thinking about it, and it keeps some people trapped in their heads.
Stuck, yeah. So in order to kind of like overcome this, the solution to get yourself out of this, the card we got is Awakening. Look at things from a different perspective, a temporary standstill. It's important to be yourself. Awakening. So right off the bat with Awakening, I get shifting your perception, kind of like waking up and seeing that all these fears and stories that you're telling yourself are not true. They're being projected from your ego. And this is not the truth of who you are or your situation. So wake up, see things from the eyes of love, you know, shift your perception. And like it says, look at things from a different perspective. So sometimes, you know, I fall victim to this, and Joey helps me a lot with this, is that I'm a very mind person. I'm always in my head, and I'm always creating stories and doubts. And sometimes I literally need him to pull me out of it by telling me, you know, like, go take a moment, breathe, calm down, connect to your body. And it's hard to find the solution when you're looking from the same consciousness of the problem. So, you know, this to me is saying, take a step back, you know, take a step back, connect to your heart, ground in your body, and be open to receive the answers from higher source, from your higher self, from divine, the universe. You know, see things from a different perspective. You know, in this card, you're kind of like really stuck. You get like, you're having tunnel vision. You're only seeing it from one point of view. Take a moment, step back, and you'll be amazed. You'll get such a broader range of the story that you'll see. That's how you can see the solution, when you take a step back. You know, it's important to really like be yourself. So what I get from this is really like connect to your truth, connect to your heart, and the solution that you seek is there. The inspiration, the confidence is within yourself. You know, what do you get from this, honey?
A little bit like I totally agree with what you said. But as you can see, she's kind of surrendered, but in a good way. She looks like she's free falling. She's obviously got wings. She can fly if she wants to, um, but she looks like she's looking up and kind of looking for some guidance. And I think that, as it says, look at all things from a different perspectives. And like Rena was saying, sometimes when we are caught in our minds, we get used to this limited way, this limited way of thinking. We almost have tunnel vision. And when we this is a temporary standstill, when we can take that time to kind of change our energetic state and just kind of surrender to how things are, the perspective changes, because then you're not forcing from the same, insane pattern. You're not stuck in that cyclic pattern. You can kind of surrender, take a second, align yourself, with whatever you will, with your higher self, with, God, spirit, anything that you're comfortable with. And then, of course, it's important to be yourself, because a lot of the times we're so caught in our minds of, a traditional way, or people telling us how we should do it, or, the right way to do it, and this is the wrong way.
It keeps us stuck.
And it keeps us stuck because then you're not really being authentic. You're trying to be something else, and then you're kind of giving your power away. And the most important thing, just be yourself and allow things to flow through your natural creative expression.
So, the outcome of this is we got 8 of air, and it says an illusion of being trapped, a lack of self-confidence, and afraid to take action. So how I interpret this is, if you kind of like the previous card, if you take the moment to step back and open yourself up, you'll realize, like I said in the first card, is that it's an illusion. You've built an illusion around you, feeling like you've been stuck. And if you can really just see it through the eyes of love, you'll realize that it doesn't actually exist, that it's been a trap that you have created for yourself. When you take the step back and you really connect to your heart, and you connect to that confidence within yourself and that love within yourself, and you connect to God and the universe, you will find that confidence, and you'll be able to take that leap of faith and take that action and do whatever it is that you have in your heart to do. Whatever has been holding you back is now going to be gone, because you're going to realize that that's just fears and stories that don't exist. In this image, you can see that they're all kind of like charging forward. They're like moving forward towards their dreams, their goals, their desires. So they're no longer afraid and stuck.
It's cool how there's 7 in this picture and it's 7 in that, and it's pretty synchronistic that there's always one that's standing out,
Yeah.
And kind of that's, I would believe, the main focus of the card. It's really beautiful. It's also the 8 of air as well, but it's that illusion of being trapped that leads to people being stuck in like a cookie cutter mold of the way things that should be done, or confidence levels at an all-time low, because you're in your head and really you're not being authentic to yourself. And what that does is that limits you, and it makes you afraid to take action. So how I could see this as, the outcome is, all these cards, it's really synchronistic how they're all very aligned. The first card was expecting the worst, sleepless nights and just kind of being, trying to predict the future almost. The second card, looking at things and being able to be humbled from different perspectives, looking and just kind of being still, changing yourself, changing your state, but being true to yourself. And then the third card, lastly, it's an illusion of being trapped. You're in that cyclic pattern, and once you can kind of take action and look at it from that different perspective, be open enough to look at it from that different perspective, is when you'll kind of take a step out of that trap and really start to get some confidence, be yourself, and you'll be ready to take action.
Take charge. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. Stay tuned for many more readings to come.
There's going to be many, many more, guys, so stay tuned, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.